Welcome back to Lake Life Lowdown. I am your host, Christina Segretti, and I'm here with your other host, Melissa Collins. And we are going to talk about stuff.
Stuff, yeah. Dude.
Okay. I do want to talk to you about some of the developments that are coming, because I keep seeing, post after post after post after post of what's coming into the Lake of the Ozarks, and I think that's kind of an interesting thing to talk about.
Shoot me.
Shoot
it to me.
Yeah.
Ooh, okay.
Yeah, so we've got the Oasis with the hotel and the amusement park and like an entertainment complex. There's the new development that Tucker's got going down by Neon Taco.
I'm excited for that.
Yeah, Bass Pro's coming. Apparently they broke ground on Chick-fil-A last week.
And it's right down here.
Yeah.
Like, it's going to be close.
Yeah. So, and then the casino is coming. They've got, the other one's still kind of like, will it, won't it? But
yeah.
the one for sure is coming.
Which one, the Indian one?
Yeah.
Osage, what are they calling that?
I don't know.
I thought they had a name for it. I don't know.
But they're putting in their little cultural center too.
Oh, that'll be cool.
Yeah. So there's a lot of stuff coming.
There is.
Yeah. Our little Lake of the Ozarks is going to be
bebopping. I don't know what this is. Bebopping.
On and popping. Yeah. But I was talking to a friend of mine the other day. You don't know her.
Here we go again.
Yeah. I have people outside of you.
Whatever.
You were the one that just abandoned me and went off with your husband.
You went off with your new coworker.
Yeah.
Same, okay?
We drove all the way to Chicago. She slept the entire way. And then on the way back, she probably slept for about half of it. I was like, that's fun. Thanks, Hannah.
She's just a baby.
Yeah, she's
still Gen growing. Z-er. She needs her sleep.
Yeah. My little Gen Zer. Yeah.
Okay, you were talking to your friend.
About what? Oh, yeah.
I don't know if you were going to tell me.
And I'm wondering, so over by Coles, off Bagnell Dam, right there, where Casey's is and all that stuff, they've got to be putting something in over there.
Why?
Because it looks like they're building on.
Onto Coles?
Yeah.
Have to go on a little road trip across the street.
I'm thinking we're going to need to do a little internet sleuthing to find out what's going on over there.
Sleuthing. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. So what's new in your neck of the woods? I know you've been doing listings like crazy.
Oh my gosh. I've been doing everything like crazy. My car is still in Sedalia.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, my car broke down. Cool. That's what happens when you have a car that has 247,000 miles on it.
So you drive it back and forth to Nebraska every other day.
Pretty much. Pretty much. I am very glad that it died on my husband and not me this time.
Yeah.
Things get a little more serious when you're not the one dealing with it.
Right.
When it's him, he's like, okay, this is a real problem. She's not making stuff up.
Are we both wearing a jean jacket?
Mine is not a jean jacket. It's soft. It's a bomber. It's kind of like a bomber jacket.
I love bomber jackets.
We both do have our sparkly shoelaces on, though.
Beep. Mine are red.
Anywho,
yeah.
What else is going on?
Just, listening to Pat do his deal next door.
Pat's working hard.
Yeah.
Okay? He's freaking...
This is a busy real estate office. We do deals.
It's Monday. We gotta make it rain cash.
Yeah.
All day.
Closings.
Coffee's for closers!
ABC. Always be closing.
What else is going on?
The St. Patrick's Day Parade just happened. The Bagnell Dam Board of Realtors float took third in
there
that.
You go.
Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah.
I think that Joe and Michelle Ortega were on that float.
I think so.
If I remember correctly.
Yes. And then the Bagnell Dam Board of Realtors is also doing their poker run.
Saturday.
Yeah. And you know what else is happening Saturday?
Trivia night at the Elks Lodge?
No. Saturday, whatever day April 11th is, I think.
Trivia night at the Elks Lodge.
That's not them. I'm talking about the Spring Boutique Crawl.
Oh.
Yeah, it's happening the same day as the Bagnell Dam Board of Realtors poker run.
What day is that?
I think April 11th.
Oh, I'm still thinking about March.
Yeah.
Am I thinking about March? Because that's this Saturday, isn't it?
March is Saturday.
Oh, my Lanta.
Saturday is still in March.
I will fight till the death until I pull out my calendar and realize I'm wrong.
Yeah.
Yes.
No, it's April 11th, I believe. Mm-hmm. And that is going to be the Bagnell Dam Board of Realtors poker run. Same day as the spring boutique crawl.
Do we think that's a smart idea?
I do.
Why?
Because while you're shopping, you can go do the poker run.
Yeah, but do you think that they're going to lose people, participants, because other stuff's going on?
No, because it's the same strip.
Yeah, but there's not very many boutiques on the strip.
There are.
There's like 4 out of the 18 million.
So you start at the other boutiques
and end up there.
And end up on the strip.
So what time is the poker run? Yeah? Are you doing that? I thought you asked me if I wanted to do something with you that day.
I was going to see if you wanted to be a dealer with me that day, but I have another commitment.
Okay. Is it the boutique crawl?
I wish that was my other commitment. No, it's Porto Cima related.
Okay. Throwing a banger?
Yeah. You know me. Yeah.
Can we talk about the weather this last weekend?
It was so hot.
It was glorious.
On Saturday, I took Hank and Harriet to the dog park in Osage Beach.
Mm-hmm.
We were there 20 minutes before both of them acted like I was murdering them. And so we got in the car. They panted the whole way home. We got home. They both collapsed on the floor. And then the next morning, they woke up and looked at me like I had never done anything for them ever. And I was like, you were the ones that wanted to leave.
Did they tell you, let's go?
Yeah, they were both so excited, so wound up. I was like, can you please?
Just calm down.
Yeah. But they love it there. That was Harriet's first trip to the dog park.
Really?
Yeah. And there were 2 other big dogs. One was like a big giant fluffy doodle of some kind. Mm-hmm. And then the other one was like a size in between Hank and Harriet.
Okay.
And he was like a little wired-haired dog. And he was so cute. But Harriet got there and she just like, you could just see like a dog running through the field, like bouncing.
Ears flopping.
Yeah, she was so excited. And I was like, okay, I can bring her to the dog park. My biggest fear is that she's going to jump that fence.
Yeah.
But even if she does, I think she's such a scaredy cat that she would immediately try to find a way back into the fence.
That makes sense.
She just wants to see if she can do it.
Yeah. Check that off her bucket list.
Yeah. And then Hank won't walk anywhere unless he's within 3 feet of me. So I have to be walking.
Okay.
Which is a good way for me to get my steps in.
There you go.
But I think you should bring Baxter. So the Osage Beach Dog Park, if you guys haven't been to that, it's over by the Osage Beach Park where they have their baseball fields and all that stuff. It's across from where the school used to be. And I know this isn't going to make sense to anybody who doesn't live here. But they have like 3 sections in the dog park. They have the big dog section, they have the little dog section, and then they have one in the back. I think that's for like training purposes or something. I don't know.
Okay.
But both my dogs play in the big dog section because Hank has only ever played with other big dogs. Yeah. So he's not a big fan of the little guys.
Okay.
But you can choose whichever side you want to go in. And it is such a nice dog park. They have like shade, they have benches, they have people leave tennis balls and toys there and ropes there all the time. Have you taken Baxter yet?
Not yet.
You got to take Baxter.
I'll take him.
Yeah.
I'm trying to get Baxter a little brother right now.
Yeah. I keep putting it off because I'm like, I kept putting it off because I just wasn't sure how she was going to handle being loose around other dogs.
Being able to run free.
Yeah. But it was 0 issue getting them back into the car. Like, they both, because there's a little section that's gated in the front where you can like reattach their collars and stuff like that, so you don't have to chase them all around the entire dog park to get their collars on.
Yep.
And so both of them were. Hank never has an issue, but she was so easy to get done, so it was not a big deal.
That's good.
Yeah, they were trying to leave when the other dogs were leaving. I was like,
hey,
okay,
we made friends. We're gonna go to their house.
Yeah. My mom said, "Can I play at your house?" My mom said it was okay.
Exactly.
Yeah, I'm like, yeah, take them.
There you go. What time did you take them on Saturday?
It was in the middle of the afternoon, so I do feel
it was hot.
It was hot. It was like 2:00.
Okay.
If I had taken them in the morning, we probably would have been there a little bit longer. But I had gotten off work, and I was like, I'll take them to the park and let them run around a little bit.
Okay.
But we were there 20 minutes, and Harriet's half pit bull, half border collie. So 20 minutes in the heat, and her little pink belly turns into like polka dots. It looks like she's got chicken pox.
Really?
Because she's like a sickly Victorian child. Yeah. So she's just always Like, if she gets too hot, she gets those little pink dots, and that's when I'm like, okay, time to go.
Yep.
So then we left, and she just crashed out when we got home, fell asleep. Pink dots immediately went away the second she hit the air conditioning. She's so dramatic.
She's delicate.
She is, like a mom.
Okay. Sheesh.
I wasn't complaining that we had to go home. I was like, we got all the way over here. You made me take you all the way over here.
And now you don't even want to stay?
Yeah. Now we can't even, we can turn around and go back home.
Jeez. We got out on the boat for the first time Saturday.
I figured you guys were going to go out on the boat.
It was glorious. It was a great day. There were a lot of people out.
Yep.
We went over by a fishing company, and I actually have a video. And it's funny because one of our friends was there, and we didn't realize he was there. But we saw him later on, and he's in the video waving. But there was so many boats there. I'm like, okay, no, let's go somewhere else.
I was at the club Friday, and we were down by the 15th hole, and that's the hole that the bridge, like when you're coming across the bridge, you can see that. We were down on that hole, and there were so many boats going by, and the water was really choppy on Friday.
Yeah.
And so, like, there was a bass fisher boat going by, and it was just bum, 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 bum. And, like, the guy was getting ready to putt, and he's like, oh, I'll wait. I was like, okay.
Don't mind me.
Yeah. And then on Saturday, I went in because I had a couple people schedule tours to come check out the club and stuff like that. And both of them emailed me Saturday morning and were like, oh, by the way, we're going to go boating today. Yeah. Sorry. And I was like, yeah, sure. Put makeup on for nothing.
Yep.
That's fine.
I did an open house on Saturday morning.
I figured it was happening.
Sunday morning.
Yeah.
And I had one couple through, and they asked me, have you had anybody else through? And I said, no, it is way too nice. Nobody's coming to this thing today.
Yeah, no.
I said, if it was raining, yeah, there'd be people.
Yep. Raining or, like, the slightest inconvenience with the weather, and everybody would have been there.
Not on this first absolutely glorious weekend.
Yeah, it's supposed to be nice again later this week.
Yes.
I think today is going to be a little cooler, and then I think...
Tomorrow, I think, too.
Either tomorrow or Wednesday is supposed to be a little chance of rain, but my high school soccer coach... And I recently just told him this story because he's also a realtor. I saw him. But my high school soccer coach used to say always, if it rains before 7, it's done by 11. Huh. And he said that was in like an old farmer saying or whatever. But to this day, it almost always holds true. If it rains before 7, it's done by 11. At least in Missouri. I don't know about anywhere else. But
remember that.
Yeah.
When you're planning your boating excursions.
Yeah. Rains before 7, done by 11. You can enjoy the rest of your day.
Okay, I like that.
Yeah.
What else?
Girls soccer here is in the spring, and so rain. So they were always like, "Oh, the game's gonna get rained out," and he'd be like, "Rain before 7, done by 11. You're gonna be playing. You're gonna be playing.
Get your shin guards, girls."
Yep. The only other thing that happened is I found out that my mom fell down the stairs. Yeah, and she broke her femur.
Oh.
Her collarbone. Had to get stitches and had a concussion. And then the woman didn't call me to tell me that she fell down the stairs.
How'd you find out?
I called her just randomly one day. I was like, going to call my mom, see what's going on with her. And she's like, yeah, I fell down the stairs like a couple days ago. She's like, I'm stuck in the bed because she's like, either she was going to have to stay on bed rest or they were going to have to put her in one of those like full body casts.
Oh, lovely.
Yeah. And I was like, and you didn't bother to call me? And she's like, well, I didn't want... She's like, what are you going to do? Come here and sit and stare at me? And I was like, listen, Michelle. I said... And then I stewed about it for a few days because I was mad that she didn't call me. And I decided, going wide, going forward for the Segretti family, and basically anybody I know, if you know me and I know you, this is the new rule that is going in place.
Okay.
If it's a broken bone, pick up the phone.
Okay.
Okay.
Broken bone.
I don't care if there's nothing I can do about it. I don't care if there's nothing I can help you with. I don't care if you're 7 states away and I can't even come and stare at you by your bedside. I don't care. That is noteworthy news.
You want to know.
Broken bone, pick up the phone.
Okay.
So we're learning a lot of things.
Rain before 7, done by 11, broken bone.
Yeah. That's how you remember things, is you have to make it rhyme. So
okay. This doesn't rhyme, but it was something I was going to tell you.
Oh, okay.
Just so you know.
Uh-huh.
On Snapchat, you are one of the couple people that has my location at all times.
Oh.
Just in case I get napped or something someday.
Yeah.
Just so you know. I meant to tell you that before we went to California and Vegas, but I forgot.
Okay. I don't know. I don't think anybody has mine.
There's only like 4 people that have mine.
Michaela may have it. from a long time ago, and I don't know. I don't know. I don't think anybody has mine.
There you go.
I don't want people to know if I go.
I get really paranoid when I travel, so I like people to know.
Yeah.
Someone to have my location other than my children. They just have it, and they're like, "What are you doing? Why are you driving so fast?"
No, my sister went to Florida in high school for like a dance. They were dancing at the Orange Bowl, and like Train was performing or whatever, and it was like a big deal. And she was really nervous to fly, and I was like, "You were gonna get trafficked." And she was like, "Oh."
Yep.
I was like, "Yeah, somebody's gonna try and take you."
You fit the bill, girl.
Yeah.
Stop being so damn cute.
I know, but yeah, I don't think anybody has my location. I usually will send a text if I'm going someplace that I've never been before.
Yeah.
Or like when I went to Chicago.
Right.
I was like, I'm leaving for Chicago.
That's where I'll be. Somewhere in Chicago.
Yeah. We got back. Listen to this. So we get back, and our boss, Rob, who I did the interview with. So
coming up next.
Yes, coming up next. Stay tuned for that. Rob asks Hannah and I how the trip back was, or how the trip was. And Hannah goes, I'm just impressed that Christina didn't get any text messages the whole trip up to Chicago. And I said, I was driving the whole trip up to Chicago, and you didn't.
She was sleeping,
and yeah, you were sleeping the whole way. And Rob was like, Rob just like shook his head and walked away, and I was like, listen, you little. I did get text messages. I just don't like my phone was hooked up. The car had like Apple Play.
Yeah.
And so it would literally read out loud my text message if I got it. Yeah. So I put my phone on Do Not Disturb because I don't know what kind of text messages I'm going to get. And I don't need little Gen Z ears having to do earmuffs in case something comes through. So I was like, I got text messages, you little jerk.
What kind of text messages do you get that you're worried about somebody hearing?
I don't know.
Something from me, probably.
Yes. You know who you are. You know who my family is. Of course I'm going to get ridiculous text messages all the time.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm
not trying to explain why my sister's texting me something ridiculous about my brother. Like,
yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't have time to explain all the characters at play.
Exactly.
In this world that I live in.
Right.
So, no, I don't want my text messages read.
Okay.
I put my phone on Do Not Disturb. And you keep your little pristine ears covered.
Earmuffs.
Yeah. What was the movie where he would say, earmuffs, Charlie? And the kid would have to, like...
Wasn't that...
Maybe it was Big Daddy?
No.
Earmuffs, Charlie.
I don't think it was Charlie.
It was. Because I specifically remember saying earmuffs, Charlie all the time. It was a Vince Vaughn movie. I don't know.
Oh, I can't. It's right there.
Yeah.
I, like, stare off into space and I'm, like... processing data, like the files are being pulled out and trickling through.
It's that meme of that little boy that's like, if you and have you ever and then and then the thing and then like you see all the little geometry and like all that stuff.
We're gonna have to figure that out.
Yeah,
right after this.
I don't remember what the movie was, but he said specifically earmuffs, Charlie.
I don't know what it was.
Yeah, so that's what's going on in our neck of the woods. Stay tuned for my awesome interview with my GM at Porto Cima, Rob Walls. He is new to the area, so we got like a nice fun little perspective on like what it's like to be a newcomer to the Lake of the Ozarks. Mm-hmm. He is new to the club at Porto Cima, but he's been a GM at other clubs. He came down from Illinois, so we got another one. We snagged another guy. Just stay tuned, because we've got a lot coming up just in general with Lake Life Lowdown. And I don't know if anybody else noticed, but while I was in Chicago, this one over here decided to post some TikToks. So stay tuned for those things also. And as always, stay anchored, friends. Bye. Welcome back to Lake Life Lowdown. I am Christina, and I am here with Rob Walls. He is our general manager for the club at Porto Cima. And I wanted him to come in today and talk about what is going on with Porto Cima. If you're like me, when you were a kid growing up here, you thought it was actually Jack Nicholson, not Jack Nicholas. And so you were just like, why is there a golf? Like, I don't even know what that is. So we're going to kind of like demystify the club a little bit today. So thank you for coming.
Of course, yeah.
All right. Let's just jump right into Rob's story here. Rob, before we talk about the club, give us backstory. How did you end up in the private club life here at the lake?
Let's see. My background's like a little windy. I was always a golfer. My parents are both golfers. My dad is a really big golfer. And I worked at clubs growing up, just kind of washing carts and picking the range and doing all of those things. And then I went to college in Cleveland, Ohio, and I studied engineering. And I came out with kind of the idea that I was going to be an engineer. And then the first recession in like 2008 hit, and I ended up kind of going to work at the club while I kind of tried to figure out what my next steps were. And I was always going to be, hey, I'm going to look for jobs. I'm going to figure out what the next thing is. And then eventually I kind of was like, you know what? I like working in golf. I'm young. I was in my early 20s, and I was like, I want to, maybe I just want to sort of pursue this as a career until I kind of figure out what the next thing is. And so I ended up going, I got into the PGA and I became a golf professional, and then worked my way there. I ended up, I was in Cincinnati at the time, and then my ex-wife now, she went to graduate school at the University of Illinois, and that was what brought me to Illinois. So Illinois, Champaign, Illinois is where I kind of spent the last 13 or so years. I was at a club called Lincolnshire Fields Country Club. I was the assistant there for a year, and then I became the head golf professional in 2014, and I worked from 2014 to 2021 as the head pro, and then in 2021 I transitioned into the general manager's role, and so I was the GM there. And it was interesting. Lincolnshire Fields is a Kemper Sports property, which is who manages the club of Porto Cima now. And when I kind of took over at Lincolnshire, the club was in a good spot, but we were kind of growing and we were sort of maturing as a property. And coming out of COVID, we really sort of saw like a tremendous growth cycle. We were able to complete some really long, much needed and long awaited projects. We renovated our clubhouse. We did a full sort of bunker renovation, not just new liners and those things, but we actually did a full scale bunker renovation. We reduced the sizing. I think we took it from 124,000 square feet to 70,000 square feet, put in a modern liner, did that whole project. And then we were able to do a tennis and pickleball renovation sort of in my last year. But the club went from sort of maybe not struggling, but sort of not being as financially successful as we wanted to be, to really kind of sort of climbing. And we had a lot of success over the last 4 years and growing membership, pivoting into a little bit of a younger demographic, a more family oriented club where it had been a very golf centric and golf focused club for a long time. We had a really nice pool, and we ended up, winning a few awards with Kemper Sports in 2024. And that was kind of sort of a nice sort of transition. I came here to the lake. The first time I came to the club was in January of 2025. It was right as Kemper sort of transitioned from Troon to Kemper. So the club of Porto Cima, they had a management sort of shift where they went to Kemper Sports. And at that time I came down here. It was January. It was cold. I think it was like right around when it kind of was just getting ready to snow. And I sort of came in and I said, hey, I'm going to help you sort of transition. I decided at that time that it didn't feel like the right fit to take the job. I wasn't ready to leave Champaign, but over the next several months, I kind of stayed in touch with the interim GM. He asked me to come down here a few additional times, and I think I told him no a couple. He asked me, multiple times kind of throughout the course of the summer, but we were in the middle of our season and it wasn't the right timing for the transition. But at the end of, I guess it was in early September, he had reached out one more time and said, hey, we're getting kind of close to maybe making an actual hire here. Do you want to come down and just really see the property since you hadn't seen it? So I came down in September, right around Labor Day, and I was really impressed with just sort of everything that had happened over the prior 10 months. We had made a lot of there had been a lot of capital reinvestment from ownership. There had been a lot of like sort of positive change from a staffing perspective. And I just felt that there was a good sort of story to tell, and there was growth happening at the club. And I felt really good about like sort of the direction everything was heading. And I'm really excited for 2026. So October to now has been off season here at the lake, so it's been a little bit sort of a transition for me. I was really used to being at a place that was kind of really really active kind of during the sort of shoulder season. So like especially October to December, it was a little bit slower than I'm used to, because we're very transitional. We've got a lot of either second homers or all those things. It's kind of lake life, if you will. But I'm just so excited to kind of get the season started.
Yeah.
And it's here, so we're really looking forward to it. So.
It is definitely picking up, and it happens quick.
Yeah. So I think St. Patrick's Day parade this weekend
Yep.
and all those things, and then it's going to be I think it's going to be a switch turned on, and then it's going to be really busy here.
Yeah, definitely. Okay, so what do you think really shaped how you lead today? Because you've worked at, like you said, a couple different places, and you've been in the business for a while.
Yeah.
So what did you kind of feel like?
So
coming into Porto Cima, how you needed to lead?
I think at Lincolnshire, I did a lot of things. I wore a lot of different hats, and I think my sort of leadership style has always been I'm pretty involved, I'm pretty hands-on, but I don't try to like micromanage. I think that I like to give sort of a sense of autonomy, and I think anyone who's ever worked for me would say that I like to try to say yes when I can. I don't like stifling ideas or saying no. I like to be able to say, yeah, let's try that or let's do that. Sometimes when it comes to dollars and some of those things, it's a little bit harder. But I think for the most part, what I kind of learned at Lincolnshire specifically was for a lot of my time there, especially when I first started, it was like we were saving our way to greatness. So we weren't spending, we weren't reinvesting, we weren't doing some of those things. And coming out of COVID, as we had a little bit more flexibility from a financial standpoint, as we said yes to more things, as we tried more things, as we sort of grew as an organization, we had more success.
Yeah.
And so I think the sort of mentality that I've kind of taken as a manager is let everyone own their work, own their departments. The people that I work with the best, that do the best work for me, are always the people that really care and have sort of high standards for themselves. And then sort of trying to empower them through, allowing them to do their best work and giving them the resources to do those things. I think when you sort of have to be the no manager or the person who's kind of stifling all of that, it makes it a little bit tougher. So I've been fortunate so far at Lincolnshire. I was able to sort of kind of spur growth, and we were able to kind of sort of grow together. And I think so far at Porto Cima, it feels like the ownership's on board, and I think that the team that we have in place now is very much ready to kind of sort of step things up and take it to the next level.
Definitely. So. I would agree.
Yeah.
Okay. So do you remember your first real impression of the property? What stood out to you? Besides, obviously, the cool course.
The golf course is obviously great. The architecture is pretty unique.
Yeah.
It's got this sort of like Italian vibe, yellow and very warm toned and all of those things. It's a unique place, and I'd say as I've gotten a little bit to know it a little bit more, it's a very family place.
Yeah. I
think that the people there, they care a lot about each other. I think that that's kind of been the through story of the entire time that the club's been in existence. Is it's a family owned place, and there's the family cares a lot about sort of not just the property and sort of the club as a whole, but also about the staff and the people that are working there. But my first impression, just very unique property. I had done a bunch of research prior, and the beautiful, stunning photos and views and all of those things. And then I got on property, and it was it maybe was a little different than I kind of had pictured, but it's a very unique property that's got a lot of character. So, yeah.
Okay, so how would your staff describe you as a leader? And you can be honest.
I think pretty easygoing. I think for the most part, I hope I'm approachable. I don't always know if I'm super approachable, but I think I am.
Is it weird having an employee stare directly at you while you answer that question?
Maybe a little bit. I think most of the employees would say that I'm hardworking. At least I want to think that I'm hardworking. I think most people would agree with that. I'm fairly approachable. I'm pretty. I'm open and honest, and I want the people that work for me to be the same. And that's I think kind of the main words that I would use to sort of describe who I am as a person.
I would agree.
Yeah.
So as somebody who's worked for you for 2 months, a full month and then like a week, I would say your get up and go, your motivation inspires people around you to also have the same.
Good.
So you definitely are a lead by example kind of person.
I would agree with that. Agree with that. That's probably always been my MO. I've probably always I'm a hard worker, and I think that that no one would ever kind of question that.
No.
For sure.
That wouldn't be a thing that sprung to mind.
Sure.
So when you think about a truly great private club experience, what does that look and feel like to you? Because something that people might not realize is the club at Porto Cima is the only private club here at the Lake of the Ozarks.
Yeah. When I think of private clubs, I think that the private clubs are different. Everyone wants something different from their experience, but I think the truly great private experiences, the truly great clubs, I think they are all selling sort of a lifestyle. And I think that the main through story for any of the clubs is you want people to be proud to be members there. And you want people to be, when they bring friends or family or clients or any of those things, you want them to say, this is the place that I belong, and have them be excited and sort of sharing that. And so I think that starts with all the little detail touches, the way you're greeted. Do people know your name? It, extends onto the golf course. Is the golf course phenomenal? Is it well maintained? Is it in good shape? And then it kind of, bleeds out into food and beverage and all those different service touch points and all of those things. So I think you want to feel at home, like it's kind of a second home for you. You want to feel known and like that you belong and that you're a member. And I think you really want to be proud of sort of whatever experience your club is putting out there. And that's been kind of every club I've worked at. That's what we've strived for, is to make sure that people feel like this is a second home for them, to make sure that they feel really proud to be a member at the club that they're at. And if we can sort of tick that box off, I think then it goes a long way in sort of member satisfaction and all of those things.
Yeah, I agree. In your opinion, what do members really care about these days? What matters most to them?
It's, again, I think every club, it probably is a little bit of a different, every person's probably a little different, but I think we've got to make sure that the golf course is great.
Yeah.
That's the number one asset, I think, at our club. But then we just want to make sure that all of the other points of the operation are hitting on all cylinders. So food and beverage got to be good. We've got to get it right from a communication standpoint, make sure that everyone knows what's going on. We've got to make sure that we're welcoming, we're friendly, we're kind as people are walking through the door. The club's a little unique. We've got a lot of guest play as well.
Yeah.
And so just sort of making it feel resorty, making it feel like you're on vacation when you come, I think is really important. But I think if you were asking most of our members kind of what the most important thing for them is, the golfing members are going to say, hey, I really want the golf course to be, what it is. It's a top 10 golf course in the state of Missouri. I think it's been as high as in the top 5, and we really want to kind of, continue to push our rankings to get us back kind of where it needs to be. So ownership's been really committed to spending some additional dollars to make sure that we are doing everything that we can to sort of make sure that golf course conditions are right where they need to be. We've got a really good team in place. I think we got a really good plan for 2026, and golf course conditions, I'd say, is like almost always number one. And then I think social members, yacht club members, they're probably looking at amenities, food and beverage, the social aspect of sort of what the club is, and sort of how do we, I think that we have we've got a lot of awesome programming that we're kind of getting off the ground, but I think that we need to continue to kind of drive that like sort of social connectivity that builds community and drives people into the door, even in the off season. So
yeah, I definitely think that it builds off of the course, like you said, but elevating the other spaces to equal the course is definitely a project that we're working on.
That's going to be the number one priority as I kind of stepped in the door, is let's make sure that golf course is exactly where it needs to be, and it's that we're investing the dollars to make sure that we have a great golf product. But then the other focus is going to be on all the additional amenities and how do we sort of bring those up to the level that the golf course is at.
Yeah. So Porto Cima has a lot of longtime members who have been here for years, since the club opened. Mm-hmm. How do you protect that culture while still moving forward?
I think it goes right back to, I think what we've kind of chatted about is just making sure that we're providing something that our members are proud of.
Yeah.
And that they're excited about sharing, and that they're excited to sort of bring people to. I think probably traditionally most of the people who have been here a long time, they join because of the awesome golf product. Jack Nicklaus Signature Design right on the lake, the only private club at the Lake of the Ozarks. They're people who have lived here. They know the sense of the community, but they're I think they've maybe seen. I think there was a little bit of a decline, probably in the like late teens, early 20s on the golf course condition side that we're really working hard to address.
Yeah.
And so I think that we owe those long term members sort of a golf course that's great, that's better maintained. And then I think there's still some work to do that we're sort of addressing from a deferred maintenance standpoint and sort of dressing up our spaces and some of those things. I know last year they added pickleball courts, which is a great new amenity add. We're working on fitness right now, so we've got a new fitness center coming in. I think we converted our pool to salt water, added a heater. We've kind of sort of like brought some of those amenities up. I think the clubhouse it probably needs a little bit of a refresh, but we did new tables, we did a new bar area last year. So we've got like a lot of exciting things going. It's just kind of prioritizing where the dollars go
Yeah.
and kind of what projects to sort of take on.
Yeah.
But I think our long-standing members, we owe them an awesome golfing experience. I think that they talk with nostalgia about sort of where the club was maybe like 4, 5, 6 years ago, and or what it was when they first joined.
Yeah.
And I think that we owe them to get back to sort of to where that was.
Yeah.
And I think all of those things that we're talking about, that goes with young members, old members, new members, long-term members. They all kind of, I think, are hoping or looking for the same thing.
Yeah.
So
What role do like legacy members play in the club as it continues to grow? So you kind of touched on it a little bit, just like checking in with them and having their input come into play.
Yeah. So I think a lot of our members, they've reached out to me as I've started and just said, hey, these are the things that we would like to see sort of get better or improve. And that's been I think in most instances, which has been a good thing, is I think we're already working on a lot of those things that they're asking about. And we're taking that feedback seriously. We're looking at sort of the results from member surveys and those type of things, and we're trying to be actionable on some of the low hanging fruit, and then also some of the larger scale stuff that we're seeing within there. But I think I've been telling members we're going to be better in 2026. I know that that's the case. We've got a great team. We're going to be better. We're not going to be perfect. We're probably never going to be perfect, but we're going to be better in 2026. And
you might never be perfect.
Sure. Fair.
I'm crushing it.
Yeah. So we will be better in 2026. I think we'll be better in 2027. We'll be better in 2028. I think all we can do as a team is continue to work on improving the membership experience, improving the club's amenities, making sure that the golf assets are where they need to be. And as long as we're doing that, I think we're working in the membership's best interest, and we're working towards commonality of goal. There's some things that maybe people are asking for, but need to be a little bit more on the back burner as we sort of kind of have a resource allocation, all those things. But I think that all of those things are falling within like a 5 or 7 year plan of kind of action items that we want to take on the golf course and at the property.
So you literally just walked right into my next question, which is, when you picture Porto Cima in 5 to 7 years from now, where do you see it going? Obviously heightened amenities, but...
Heightened amenities, yes. I think what I'd love to see is, and I think we have a great team in place for it, but I'd like to get us back where I think I'd like to see more community at the club.
Yeah.
I think I'd love to see our membership maybe, I'm not saying like young, but I'd like to see some like sort of influx of maybe some younger members with families who are kind of the next generation of 25, 30 year members that we currently have. I think that we have like tremendous growth in sort of that sub segment of sort of this community and membership. We've got I'd love to see the golf course get back into the top 5 in the state of Missouri rankings. I'd love to see sort of those sort of metrics from a golf perspective kind of increase. And then I would love to kind of continue to drive sort of the social engagement, the sort of community aspects of what it is to be a member at a private club. And I think we've chatted about it a lot as you've kind of started in your role, but I don't know that the club has always done a great job of marketing itself to the community as something that's attainable, of something that is maybe more affordable than people think, and also is something that you don't have to be a property owner or any of those things. I think we'd love to see growth on the membership side. I think that's one of the main thing that we've kind of tasked you with, and I think that I've been kind of tasked with as I've started, is sort of growth from a membership perspective. But again, capital improvement, awesome golf course that's ranked highly in the state of Missouri, and then improved amenities, but also improved social fabric, community, all of those things. Maybe a little bit younger, maybe a little bit more vibrant, and just sort of driving that sort of next generation of sort of club member. So.
What do you think the odds of getting Jack Nicholson to the club would be?
Jack Nicholson?
Yeah,
I'm
Jack
not so
Nicholson.
sure. I'm not so sure about Jack Nicholson. I bet you, I don't even know if Jack Nicklaus would come. He wrote a nice letter for us for our 25th anniversary, but I don't know that he's been back to the Ozarks here. Jack Nicholson, probably pretty low. I don't know if Jack Nicholson's a golfer, to be honest. So
I don't know.
But
yeah, I fully believed that it was his golf
right,
course.
yeah, that's
Because
funny.
I didn't know anything about
That's
golf.
funny.
Okay, are you noticing more interest from younger professionals and families lately? Hopefully, because that's my job. But
It feels like it, and I think that we're making a concerted effort to kind of sort of try to drive that segment of the sort of the market here. I think there's more people moving to the lake full time and kind of getting more established here, and I think that we'd love to kind of continue to drive sort of those younger families with kids that are going to be in this area for full time for the next 15 or 20 years. And I think that's where our growth is going to be. I think the toll bridge kind of going away has sort of opened up a whole new market on that side of the lake. I think that there's a lot of new home development and all of those things going in, which has been really nice to see. But yeah, the younger demographic is one of the kind of target audiences for kind of everything we're trying to do.
Yeah. There's definitely a growth explosion happening here, residential and business-wise, which all of those things will bring in new people who are going to probably live here year-round. And so those people are going to want a place where they can get a foot in the door and get some community built up. And contact us at Porto Cima for your options.
Yeah.
How do you keep a club feeling established and classic, but not stuck in the past?
So let's see. Our club is established. We just hit 25 years, so it's not like it's not a 100-year-old property like some of these clubs, but it is established. I think that we just need to continue to sort of modernize. We need to continue to update our systems. I think we've done a pretty good job on the golf side of the operation of, we've got online tee times and we've got GPS on all of our carts. And we've got a lot of sort of modern things in place that allow us to sort of manage our tee sheets efficiently, control pace of play, and give a good experience. I think that we are getting the golf course back into sort of a great playing condition. We have been doing a lot of like riprap erosion, so like a lot of foundational stuff around the shorelines of the lake facing holes. We just updated all of our pump systems. We've got some irrigation system stuff going on. We have new fans coming in. So we've been sort of modernizing some of the things that we're doing out there to sort of give our turf the best opportunity to sort of thrive and have success. And then I think I always would say that we need to kind of be forward looking and sort of try to look at trends and sort of where things are headed. So as I've been kind of thinking about sort of what's next, it's like we probably need to update and elevate some of our indoor dining spaces and some of those things. We probably want to look at maybe some additional things that might be able to drive in some off-season revenues. So maybe it's like golf simulators in the future or some of those things. But like I said, I'm really excited about this fitness project that we're doing. I think it's going to be a huge value add for the members. I think that's an amenity for both the older generation of member and the younger generation. I think, all of the sort of updates we do with pickleball and the pool and all those things, hopefully they're going to drive a little bit more sort of like family fun and family activity. I think we're trying and we're working towards becoming not just a golf property where people are coming in and spending, a weekend playing golf, but also sort of using all the other amenities to sort of have a full holistic experience.
Yeah, definitely. A lot of people think private clubs are intimidating.
Mm-hmm.
So, are they? Like, what would you
It really depends on the club.
Yeah.
Like, you can have these stuffy sort of, I don't know, 100-year equity owned like clubs that are, if you're not fourth generation money, you probably don't belong. You're probably not getting in, to be honest. But so there is sort of like some intimidation factor about that. I'd say that Porto Cima, especially because of sort of the guest slash resorty kind of atmosphere that the club has, I think it's less sort of intimidating than some other places. I think that we've got we've got a pretty relaxed sort of dress policy. You've got people in the off season, they're in there in jeans, and I mean, you got to wear a polo, or it's country club casual, if you will. But I don't think there's anything like overly intimidating about any of the things that we're doing at the club. Golf course is hard, but it's welcoming. We've got a really friendly staff kind of throughout the course, throughout the building. I think the pool, the pickleball, the fitness facilities are all they're like sort of they're there and ready for you once we get into the summer. And then I think private clubs in general, they kind of can trend in two directions. One is like this super formal, super rigid structure, super like it's got to be done exactly this way. We've got rules, we follow them. You have to follow your rules, but at the same time, I think that we want to offer sort of a welcoming experience for the people that are using the club.
Yeah.
So
we are here at the Lake of the Ozarks.
Yes,
you got to know your clientele.
100%, 100%. And I think the unique thing about this club, as I've sort of started, is a lot of the clubs that I have been a part of have been very neighborhood. So they're the place that people come to at 5 o'clock after dinner or after work, or they just come over and play a couple holes in the evening. They're kind of using it as their, like, it's like a day-to-day thing for them. I think here we have some people who are using it in that way, which is great. And then we also have a lot of people who are here very specifically because they're on vacation. And it's there's a little bit of a different vibe to like that type of experience than sort of the one of like the day-to-day club operation. So I think we have a good mix of sort of both.
How do we marry the two?
So I think that we just make sure that the experience, no matter who you are, is really consistent. I think that we really work on knowing people's names and making them feel like members and all of those things, no matter who they are.
Yeah.
And then I really do think, again, it always comes back to, but like, if you are someone who lives in Kansas City and you only come here for, weekends during the summer, I still want you to be really proud of the club when you're here and sort of showing it off to the people that you're bringing. Same thing for those people who are coming day to day. I want them to, every time family comes and visits, or every time a friend comes, they're saying, "Oh, well, we got to go over to the club because you got to check it out. You got to experience kind of what we're a part of over there." And that's, I think, the ultimate goal.
So looking ahead, I know we kind of touched on the next 5 to 7 years, but what are you personally most excited about building over the next few years?
I'm really excited about sort of, again, I think getting the golf course back where it needs to be. I think
says the former golf pro.
That is, I think, the number one goal. I think if you were to ask the membership, that's their number one goal too.
Yeah.
And then I think that building a team and building a community at the club that sort of people can be proud of. That's the goal. And so if I was thinking about sort of the ways that we want to attack that, I think that making sure the golf course product is there. I'm going to keep hitting on that. And then it's really sort of driving those sort of additional sort of community driven, like social aspects of the club that give everyone a sense of pride and sort of in their membership at the club at Porto Cima.
So if someone was listening and they're thinking, okay, maybe I might be interested in joining, what would their next steps be?
So Christina
is
she's our membership director. You can reach out to her via email or phone. I'm always available as well. So, so the kind of the steps of sort of would be reach out to Christina, find out some additional information regarding, sort of club's pricing and all of those things. And then we'd usually kind of walk someone through with a tour, take you on the golf course or take you through the club's amenities and sort of give you a chance to see all of those. And then we'd go from there. Sort of, if you like what you see, if you're interested in sort of the private club lifestyle here at the lake, I think the Club at Porto Cima is a really good option.
Mm-hmm. Give us a call. All of our stuff will be here in this blank space here,
sure,
or in the show notes. So you can check that all out.
Yeah.
All right, now we're going to do the lightning round.
Okay.
I have not prepped him at all for these. Early bird tea time or sunset round?
Probably an early bird if I was going with one or the other. I do both, but early bird would be my preference.
Coffee before the course or an iced tea at the turn?
Oh, iced tea at the turn.
I knew that. I learned that recently.
Not a coffee drinker.
One word that describes Porto Cima. You're not a coffee drinker?
Nope.
Okay.
I don't drink any coffee. Nope.
Just when I thought we could be friends.
One word that describes the club of Porto Cima. Let's see. Stunning.
Okay. Most underrated part of the club?
I think our food and beverage experience is actually pretty good right now. I'm excited for 2026 and where we're headed.
I agree. You've got some pretty great people in place there that are...
Yeah, we have a really good team, and I'm excited, and our team's excited for 2026 as well. So I feel really good about it.
Best view on the property?
I think you'd have to say hole number 15. It's kind of coming down the hill. It's one of the most photographed probably holes.
You can't miss it.
You really can't miss it. As you come across the bridge, you see it right there. But any of the views kind of in that sort of, I think Jack Nicholas, when he was designing the course, he said not many ownership groups would have allowed me to sort of utilize the lakeshore property in this way. But 15, 16, 17, 18, they're all sort of right there on the lake. 15 kind of coming down the hill, you're just looking right at the main channel there. It's a beautiful view. You got, sort of, the rock cliffs in the background, and it's a really nice view. And honestly, I think when you get to number 18 and you're kind of looking, and you got the inlet there, the marina's on your left, the yacht club's on your left, and then you got the clubhouse right in front of you, and you're heading down this hill. It's a pretty incredible, spectacular view, if you will. So.
If you're not in your office, where are we most likely to find you?
Probably somewhere downstairs, like in the kitchen or on the food and beverage floor. I'm hoping once the summer comes that you'll find me on the golf course a little bit more. I'm going to make it a goal to play a little bit more often. I think it's the best way to develop really meaningful relationships with members is to get on the golf course, sit in a cart with them for 5 hours, or hopefully 4. Five. We're gonna cut that. But yeah, 4 hours. Sit in a cart with them, learn about them, learn about their story, hear their feedback on sort of everything that we're doing. I think that I will plan to play a little bit more golf this year than I have in the past.
Darn! So. You gotta play more golf. What a bummer.
Yeah, I know, it's a tough one, right? So.
I do think that is a pretty genius way to, I'm sure the members are going to love having the GM stuck in their golf cart for a little while.
Well, I mean, I have found...
Give them a chance to talk to you.
I have found throughout my career that playing with members is a very valuable experience, both for myself and for the members, because it's just a way to get to know someone in a way that maybe you wouldn't. They get an opportunity to ask you questions and give you feedback and all of those things, but it's a low stakes kind of way to do that. And it gives me an opportunity kind of to sort of hear what people are thinking and kind of like how maybe we should be pushing forward and taking in the direction we should be going in. So I'm looking forward to sort of hearing all that feedback.
Yeah, not at all about just playing golf. Not at all about that.
The golf part's fun too. So
your go-to order in the clubhouse?
Let's see. I'm pretty structured. I usually once a week I get a burger with bacon on it. I like burger bacon, and I usually get French fries. I think probably my go-to order right now, I actually really, really like the dry rub wings with the hot honey. The dry rub wings with hot honey are probably my favorite thing that we make right now. They're really good. They got like a cinnamon raspberry dry rub, and they're really good. So that's usually that's probably my favorite right now.
Yeah, so. And thank goodness the clubhouse is open for food, because otherwise this poor guy is going to survive off of Uncrustables. That's true.
Uncrustables and Built Bars. Those are my two go-tos right now. So.
What's one thing members might be surprised to learn about you?
I don't know. Surprised to learn about me.
The engineering degree was something new for me. Didn't know that.
Yeah. So I guess that's my background is kind of an interesting thing.
Yeah.
I have 4 younger sisters, so I'm one of 5, and we're all really close in age. It's I think there's 5 of us within 6 years of each other. So
oh gosh,
my parents were busy there for a little while.
What's your biggest pet peeve on the golf course?
Slow play. I'd say slow play, or like people that are not like sort of not treating the golf course with respect. Those would be kind of the 2 things. So if you're not kind of treating the golf course with respect, taking care of it, and then if you're not playing with decent pace, those are the 2 things that would drive me crazy the most. So
yeah. Okay. Dream addition to the club 5 years from now? Like if you had no budget and you could add one thing to the club, right? And within 5 years, what would you add?
I do think the idea of like having some golf simulators would be really cool. I think it'd be an off-season amenity ad that would be really nice. I think we are going to be working towards like a full-scale bunker renovation over the next few years, and I think that's gonna probably be like the last piece that's gonna get the golf course really back to where it needs to be. I think that those are kind of the two things that if I was like adding to like a wish list that we're gonna do the bunker project. It's just a matter of kind of figuring out the timing on that. I think that golf simulators, they're probably more of a nice to have than a need to have, but I think it would be a cool addition.
Yeah. Not that anybody asked, but I would like to see an indoor pool.
Indoor pool. That would be I think, especially because we don't need to have lifeguards, that an indoor pool would be fine with me. But I'm
okay.
not.
See, look, there we go.
I'm not interested.
Already making improvements.
I'm not interested in. I would not be interested if I was back in Illinois, where I had to sort of staff a pool year round. That would be like an impossible task. So, yeah.
All right, so that's what I've got for Rob. If you guys have any questions or you want to know more about Porto Cima or the club at Porto Cima, you guys can give us a call. We are happy to give you a tour. We can talk about membership options and what all we offer. We can go further into depth over what amenities we have. We are happy to go over all of those things with you guys. So if you want to give us a call, you can. Again, our number and information will be here in this spot. And thank you for watching. And as always, stay anchored, friends. All right, that was a great conversation with Rob. I think what really stood out to me is just the vision of where Porto Cima is heading. There's such a strong foundation here with longtime members who have built an incredible culture, and it's exciting to see that continue while also welcoming new families, professionals, and just people who love the lake lifestyle. Private club life can sometimes feel a little mysterious from the outside, but at the end of the day, it really comes down to the community. It's about having a place where you know people, where you can show up, relax, and just enjoy everything the lake has to offer. If you've ever been curious about Porto Cima or private club membership in general, this is definitely a great time to explore it and see what it's all about. Thanks for tuning into this episode of Lake Life Lowdown, and as always, stay anchored, friends!